Gaia is dead. We have failed her. The Garu were her defenders, her chosen children, and yet we were powerless to stop the destruction wrought by humanity. The old stories tell of fire and fury, that the earth was consumed in the blink of an eye, but there were a few who survived. The people of the station were cast adrift, only to crash onto the Red Planet. Unfortunately, they found no safety here. Without the leadership of the Blue Planet, the Martian colony descended into chaos. Now, the only way to survive is to kill or be killed. Many from the station lie sleeping, buried beneath the red sands, awaiting a time when they can safely emerge. But those who remain above live short, brutal lives fighting off the warlords and scavengers who continue to consume, having learned nothing from the annihilation of their ancestors. Some say that there is hope, though, a way to restart the terraforming that had been started here, a way to rebuild, and perchance, even to revive the long-dead goddess herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rick. I'm the person who runs this shit, and we are here to raise money for the Trans Empowerment Project. And with us, we have the Trans Empowerment Project. On that note, whoever wants to go first introducing themselves, we will introduce our characters in a little bit. If you just want to tell us who you are and where we can find you, and we will get into things.
Project first.
All right, I'm going to go first this time. Hey, everybody. My name is Jack Knoxville. I use he and they pronouns. I am the founder and executive director of Trans Empowerment Project, and I'm basically under Jacktivism or Jacktivism 101 on all things across the internet.
Fantastic.
Hey everybody, I am Heather Knoxville. I use she, they pronouns, and I am the COO of Trans Empowerment Project. And you can generally find me under Heather Knoxville or Ivy Knoxville on all of the socials.
All right.
Hello, I am Lissa of the Slovenly Trolls podcast. Very honored to be playing with the Trans Empowerment Project people. Yay! I run and co-host. I should not say run because I don't run. Co-host. Sharday exists. A podcast about the history of D&D. We do deep dives and then yell about it. It's called the Slovenly Trolls. I'm Lissa. Hi.
I'm disappointed that you've gone with co-host and not co-ho because I like that one better.
Yeah, we are co-hosts. Two co-hosts. Yes.
Absolutely. So before we get into anything, let me first of all just remind everyone, or if this is your first time here, inform you that throughout this game you can donate to the Tiltify, and you can influence this game, giving rerolls or heals to either the players or me, which would be the NPCs in this case. So whatever flavor of chaos you want, you can influence this game. Also, another thing to note is that we are aware that there is a lack of diversity in the TTRPG space, as well as at this particular table, at least as far as racial diversity goes. But all of the people here represent different marginalized groups, and not all diversity is easily visible. So we have established with these fine folks here a tool to help us prioritize especially BIPOC, 2TIGE, and other marginalized groups, in order to give the people with the least representation the highest priority in casting. And so this is who signed up. So we're very happy to have you all here, and let's get into the game. So, Heather, first of all, how do you pronounce your character's name?
Ashina.
Perfect. I think we're going to start off with Ashina. Because this is very Mad Max inspired, not for legal reasons, not a Thunderdome, but a similar style of dome structure in combat with another individual. why don't you tell us a little bit about what Ashina looks like?
Ashina is a badass. Very tough. Like, if y'all have ever played Borderlands and you know the sirens from that series, I very much wanted a character based on that. So Ashina is tough, very intimidating presence, and it kind of has very much fits into the post-apocalyptic vibe of leather and just very hardcore exterior. And a little bit of magic too, thrown in there for good measure, but is seriously good with a firearm. And yeah, I think that's pretty much me.
Absolutely. What kind of firearm would Ashina have?
Probably an SMG with some sort of like elemental damage, if we can do that here.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I mean, incendiary rounds are absolutely a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that'd be great.
Yeah. So you are in this, for legal reasons, not a Thunderdome. And the other individual in here is wielding like this nasty, gnarly looking spear and is charging at you. What would Ashina be doing?
I mean, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, so first of all, I mean, I would be trying to take out my opponent from as far away of a distance as I could, because some people can throw those spears really, really friggin' far. So I don't want to let my opponent get close enough to me to do that. So I would obviously be trying to wield some of my ammunition against them.
Absolutely. So go ahead and do me the honors of giving us the first roll of the game. So this would be your dexterity plus your firearms. So 8d10. And for this game, because we're not using the official dice, what you're looking for here is anything that is 6 or above is a success.
So you want me to roll 8 d10s?
Yep. And all I need is how many of them are 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And if you get multiple 10s, let me know. That is important.
So I got only 2 that were below 6. I got a 1 and a 4, and the rest were 5, 7, 7, 7, 9, 9.
Okay. So that's a pretty good roll. Multiple successes means that your shots are pretty accurate. And because Garu are a lot tougher than humans, I'm going to say probably a lot of people don't know that you are Garu. That is one thing that I'm going to carry over from the traditional game, is that you all probably don't just announce yourselves all the time. That being said, if you find yourselves in need of transforming, there's going to be less consequences because this is a very brutal future. So normally I would steer people away from transforming in front of humans, because that causes delirium, it causes them to panic and just run and freak out. In this case, it's probably a good thing to cause people to panic and freak out. So, do whatever you need to. But you are able to absolutely unleash hell on this person. Why don't you tell me what that would look like? Because you are going to absolutely kill them in your first salvo against them.
Well, I mean, I do have incendiary rounds. So, like, this person is, like, running full tilt at me across this, like, not a Thunderdome. And I am, like, taking evasive action, obviously not to make myself be, like, a standing target for their spear. And as I'm doing so, I'm, like, shooting towards them. One of the incendiary rounds actually strikes them, and they go up in flames. So I don't need to continue shooting and wasting my ammunition. This person immediately like forgets all about me, tries to do the whole stop, drop, and roll. But my incendiary rounds are pretty powerful, so they are eventually overcome by.
It's a horrible way to die and a great way to start this game.
Yeah.
And the crowd who have climbed up, much like in the movie, but again, this is legally distinct from the Thunderdome. They are all over this dome. They're watching. They also have fully accepted that they could be killed in the process because, things happen. And this is a very brutal, short-lived future. And they all just erupt in cheers because they haven't seen a lot of people who end things on the very first round like that. But normally it goes a little bit longer than like 3 seconds in. But Ashina clearly knows what they're about. And where would our other two be while this is going on? Would you be watching? Would you be elsewhere?
I feel like I'd be.
Would you say
Go
Jack?
ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I feel like I would be watching and kind of observing and taking this all in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like Darla would be on the edge of her seat, but still holding back and not rushing into anything.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. So I don't know how closely anyone has looked at your character sheets, but under your advantages and flaws, all of you have some different things. Jack, you, for example, have the flaw person of interest. You are infamous. And so, as you are watching Ashina just absolutely destroy this, we'll say they're probably a scavenger, someone taps you on the shoulder and is like, "Thought I told you not to come back here." So what would Abacus do in response as someone comes up to them?
I feel like Abacus would essentially try to play it off because I try to be very inconspicuous and very low key, not too flashy, even though I know that I have all of these amazing powers and things, but I'm just trying to get in and out of where I need to be. And so, yeah, I don't know what in the hell they're talking about because they don't know me.
No. I know you. You're Abacus, aren't you? I've heard about you.
Well, the thing is, I have these amazing abilities, psychic abilities, to make you feel like you were totally mistaken.
Absolutely. Let's see. Are you wanting to use one of those abilities currently?
Sure.
Yeah, let's have you give me a wisdom and investigation roll, please.
Okay. So. How many dice do I need?
Let's see. For you, that will be, 3, 5.
Okay. Okay. My dice are 3, 5, 3, 2, and 4.
Oh no, that means you had 0 successes.
Apparently.
So did you say that out loud, or was that just kind of you talking to me about like your abilities that you have?
Me talking to you about my abilities.
Okay. So this individual who is very like scarred, looks like they've lived a very rough and tumble life, very tattered clothing, is just like, no, I'm sure it's you. I'd recognize that face. And immediately they're going to pull out a very large knife.
I have a particle blaster that can take care of that knife of theirs.
Absolutely. You're going to shoot him?
Yes, I am.
All right. I will say shooting is not your best ability, but I'm here for it. So you will roll 3 dice, because that would be dexterity plus firearms.
Okay.
Hopefully your second roll is better.
I think so. Well, 3 dice. I got a 6, a 9, and a 2.
Okay, so 2 successes is enough. You are able to shoot this person. Where would you shoot them, out of curiosity?
Well, since they're so close to me, I've got to shoot them right in the abdomen,
Yeah, just go for the gut shot.
Yep.
And they're still going to take a swipe at you. But I think it doesn't actually penetrate through your layers of clothing. Maybe even you're able to step out of the way a little bit, sort of pushing other people out of the way. It is pretty crowded. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what Abacus looks like?
So as I mentioned, I try to stay very inconspicuous, just very solid, plain clothing. It's very practical clothing, especially to deal with the temperatures that may vary depending on where I'm going. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, probably have some pretty greasy hair, like slicked back, and just, yeah, I'd say, again, just very, very like plain. I mean, you would be like, this just looks like every other NPC out there. That is the goal for you to believe.
Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, and as you shoot them in the gut and they start to fall to their knees, they scream out, "Get him!" And with that, we're going to cut over to Darla.
Hello.
Darla. So you said that you were watching. Would you have been nearby to Abacus, or would you be a little bit off on your own?
I feel like I would be nearby to Abacus. Darla is a firewoman. So she is dressed in like fire protection gear, but she is not on duty currently, but she just hangs out in fire protection gear. But she's like, it's like kind of like taken down, and she just has like a tank top, and it's sort of like draped around her waist area. So it's like basically the fire pants and then hanging onto her.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
say less. I'm about it.
Yeah. She's off duty. But she is keeping an eye out for, stuff going wrong. So yeah, she would be very much paying attention to what is going on. And if she's nearby Abacus, she would be definitely paying attention to whatever's going on there.
Right. What would you do in response to seeing your friend shoot this person in the gut? And then you would definitely see that about a dozen people start rushing in, all very
towards the fight.
Mm-hmm.
She is not an intelligent being. She's not dumb, but she is not an intelligent being. So she would like pick herself up. Like she's got big muscles. She's buff, unlike me.
Right.
So she'd kind of like pick herself up, kind of like bulge those muscles, and then start like walking over to help out her friend Abacus, and make sure that everybody knows that she's there, because she's dressed in her gear. She's a force to be reckoned with, and she's there for backup.
Also, I did not clock the fact that I just built you a muscle mommy.
Yes, you did. I looked at the strength score, I looked at the score, and I'm just like, okay, let's go with this.
I'm here for it. Yeah, they are not going to back down, especially because, the fire protection gear would do some to prevent harm, but mostly from fire more than from like clubs and swords and knives and things like that, or guns, especially. And seeing that the top half of you is just in a tank top, they're very not intimidated, despite your size and your strength. It is very apparent.
Well, they're gonna fuck around and find out.
In what way?
Let's see. Am I good with guns? I don't think I am.
Not particularly. You're actually
Yeah.
like this much better than Abacus, but like still not great.
Okay, she's going to take out, like, let's say a crowbar. She's definitely carrying a crowbar. That's what fire people would be carrying.
Or an axe.
Yeah, an axe. She would be carrying an axe. That makes more sense, actually.
You can have both. I'll allow it.
Okay. Well, she'll take out an axe, a big axe, because fire people have big axes, and I just think it's hot. So yeah, she'll take out the big axe, and then is anyone like starting the fight? Is there like blood being shed?
I mean, the blood being shed is currently the person who Abacus just shot in the gut.
Okay.
But that person's friends are all very clearly not going to just stand around and talk about this. They're very upset.
Yeah, Darla's gonna like walk in and just kind of like move people as she walks into the circle of people, and then turn around to the circle of people and be like, listen, we have an incident. Step away from the incident. We have a safety hazard. Please move away, sir.
And as you're doing this, people do, just the general populace clears out of the way, but they form a circle around all of you, and you hear a chant of fight, fight, fight. And Ashina, as you are coming out of the not Thunderdome, you can see that there is some kind of commotion. You can hear the chanting of people calling for this fight. And I think especially Darla would be easy to spot over the others. So you can see that your friends, your compatriots, your comrades are about to get into something.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to let that go down without me. So of course, I'm going to go try to insert myself into this fray that they've gotten themselves into. I want to protect my folks. Can I just say real quick though that the fact that Darla has firefighting gear and my first opponent burned to death just makes it 10 times worse that like she could have saved them. But we don't do that.
Yeah, she's done on the clock right now.
Yeah, right. She's off right now. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go try to jump into the middle of this fight that my friends have gotten themselves into and see if I can provide a little bit of backup.
Absolutely. And Darla, as you are the only one who has not taken any kind of combat action thus far, are you initiating anything? I mean, obviously, the fight's already started, but are you taking a lead here, or are you waiting to see what happens?
She's hoping it doesn't come to melee, because I'm playing a bimbo. Like, there's not much going on up there. Like, the lights are on, but nobody's home. So she's like willfully hoping this will all just like not blow up, and become a bigger issue. So she's just like, guys, just, back away, back off. And like, even amongst people fighting, fight, she's just like desperately trying people to not fight. She is beefy. She knows how to fight, but she doesn't want to.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say that 3 individuals approach you from this group of around a dozen, and they are all, two of them are wielding like bats with nails through them. One has a very nasty, rusty looking dagger, a very large knife, and they're all going to attempt to attack you. What would you be doing in response?
She would be defending herself and fighting back. Yeah.
Perfect. So typically in this game with combat, how it'll work is it's going to be opposed dice rolls.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for them, and you're going to roll your, in this case, since you're fighting and you're not trying to dodge, go ahead and roll. It would be, in your case, strength plus melee.
Melee. That's a lot of dice. Okay.
Sure is.
Okay.
And I will tell you now, they got 3 successes, so that's your target to beat.
Well, I have a lot of dice. Hopefully the dice gods are friendly. Okay. That's a 10. That's a 6. That's an 8. Was a 5 a success?
No, 6 and above.
Shoot. So I have 3 successes.
Okay. So with that, because they are the ones initiating this, they are going to do a very small amount of damage to you. They're going to do 1 superficial damage. So that will be a slash on your health, not an X. And X is more serious.
Okay.
But Darla's not weak. She can take the superficial.
Mhm.
And I will let you all know an important thing. When you're in your human or the lupus form, which is the wolf, or in Jack's case, the dog form, because you have the, I don't even remember the name of the ability now, but it makes you look like a regular dog. So you're Clement Lupus. So you are a little bit more incognito when you're transformed. When you're in those 2 forms, you cannot heal other than with like medicine, first aid kind of stuff. In all of the supernatural forms, which is every other form, you have some ability to regenerate. Your war form is obviously the best one. So that is your full-on werewolf, big scary form. So yeah, you take a very small amount of damage, but that's not even a big deal. Realistically, it probably is just making Darla that much hotter, and just like slash you across the abdomen. So now you have a torn tank top.
Hey, that was my favorite tank top.
Possibly your only tank top.
Probably, yeah.
All right. And Heather, Ashina has stepped into this fray. You see that Abacus has just shot someone pretty recently, and Darla is being ganged up on by these 3 people. There's still 9 others coming at the 3 of you at this point. What would you be doing?
Do I have any rage yet?
You do. Everyone has 2 rage.
Cool. So can I do the stare down move?
Absolutely. You sure can.
Cool, because I want to stare the rest of these people down and try to get them to cower and back the fuck off.
Absolutely. So the nice thing is, it only costs a rage check. It doesn't actually cost rage. So, well, it could potentially cost rage. So just roll me a single d10 and let me know what you get.
Seven.
Okay, so it does not cost you any rage. You don't gain any either, but you are able to use this ability. And tell us what your stare down looks like, because it is a supernatural ability. It's not just your natural intimidation, which you are already really good at. Because these are all humans, they immediately cower and try to flee.
I mean, my stare down basically looks like almost an aura is kind of activated around me, so it really gives off that feeling of like making you unsettled and kind of questioning, like, wait, why did I want to start this fight in the first place? And then just that glow, almost piercing glow coming out of my eyes, where it just really gives you that feeling of like, I don't think I want to mess with these people right now. So very intimidating. I look bigger and more muscular than normal. That aura or intense feeling or glow of like, intimidation and just making you real uncomfortable and like, sorry, let me back off. I didn't mean to start something.
Yeah. The person who seems like they might be the leader of this group just is like, let's get the fuck out of here. And as they're all running away, you hear them like yelling that they're going to tell Toe Jam about this.
Do we know who Toe Jam is?
You've heard of a lot of different like warlords and things like that, and you've probably at least heard the name at some point. They're not super famous or anything, but you've at least heard of them.
Okay. Like in what context? So just they're a warlord and bad vibes?
Yeah, absolutely. Like they're not a good person.
Okay.
Most people that you've met are not good people either. Honestly, probably including the three of you are not always the greatest, most virtuous people in the world, because it's just that kind of world. I could be wrong. Maybe you're all really great people and you just do nice things, but I have a sneaking suspicion that there are some bad things that you all do, because that's what you have to do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So not only does it disperse the dozen people who were coming after you, but the entire crowd all starts screaming and running in fear. So, Ashina, you have just cleared out the Not a Thunderdome. The entire crowd has left. The streets are empty. What will the three of you be doing?
Darla will go check on Abacus if they're okay. Come to you and like put a hand on your shoulder, be like, "You okay there?"
Yeah, I think Abacus might be a little shaken up, but for the most part, I'm totally fine. And so just more concerned with Ashina as well, making sure that they are also doing all right.
Yeah, and I think that Ashina would just really be making sure that everyone actually is gone and that there aren't any like hanger outers waiting for us to like let our guard down and then try to be starting something again.
Yeah.
And then just kind of figuring out what next steps are from here.
Absolutely. So, Ashina, go ahead and give me a wits and awareness roll, please. For you, that would be 4 dice.
Okay. Seven, 10, 8, 4.
Okay, 3 out of 4 are successes. That's pretty damn good. You don't see anyone who seems to be hanging around. It seems like even people who weren't watching the fight were just like, you know what, this is obviously something bad going down. We're just going to go home. We're going to fuck right off and not be here because we don't want to get hurt. Especially if they see you at all. They're just like, let's not fuck with her. We're good. We're going to go. And Darla, you do have one of your advantages and flaws is the secure safe house.
Oh yes. What does that actually do?
So you have essentially a haven of your own where you can go to that it is not impenetrable, but it was very difficult for people to get to. It is sort of out of the way, a little bit hard to find, and also very heavily locked down. Like you have very good quality locks and protection.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, but basically what I picture happening is that Sheeta's just checking out like the territory, and then there's like Abacus and Darla running, basically like checking each other for wounds and being like, Sheeta, you okay? You okay there? Like running after her. And then yeah, Darla, after making sure that everybody in the group is okay, she'll be like, guys, I have a place for us. I have a safe house. It's behind the fire department, obviously. And I stole some blocks and, some steel. So it's like, it's kind of like my side project. Yeah, my side project. And I've been like making it my own. And it's totally, we can just totally go hang there. It's got like, stuff there. We can go medication, stuff like that, first aid kit, and some food, some food.
You say when you're the only one who's taken any damage.
Yeah.
Well, we can make sure she gets to use the first aid kit when we get there.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to go recharge and make sure that we're all 100% before we get into any more tiffs with anybody.
Right, because I'm very curious to know who Toe Jam is.
Yeah, I've heard of this person, and I think they're bad news, but I don't really remember because I wasn't really paying attention. I feel like it might have been in like the information packet I got when I like joined the firefighting community or whatever, but yeah.
I love the mental image of like in a Mad Max world that you're in like this one not pristine, but like cleaner than most places, this fire department, and they hand you just like this grimy, disgusting pamphlet, and it has like a list of here's all the local warlords that you don't want to fuck with. Yeah,
that grimy pamphlet never left the fire department. She took one look at it and she was like, skimmed it, I got it, threw it away, never to be seen again.
Amazing. So you all make your way to the safe house, and from the outside, the fire department looks like any other structure. It is very ragtag bits of things, all kind of put together. It's not a nice looking structure, but as you go inside of it, because I imagine that it's like one of the fire poles, but there's like a one kind of in the back that you have to know it's there in order to get into your safe house. Yeah, inside it is much cleaner. There's still some dirt and grime and things, but you see essentially a group of these firefighters who really don't even pay attention to the three of you. I'm sure that this is not the first time that Darla has brought friends to the station.
Nope.
So they're just like, okay, Darla's going to do whatever Darla's going to do. And then she leads you to their safe house. What would the interior of your safe house look like?
I feel like there's a bunch of like random gym equipment and then a bunch of like canned edibles because she doesn't cook. Like she'll just like eat beans and peas from cans.
I'm assuming you don't mean like weed edibles because that would be
no like
that's what I assumed.
like can I mean listen, I could roll for it. But
Darla only eats
secret stash in the bag. If you go that one special can of beans. Anyway, mostly just like stuff like her own personal workout space kind of, and then some junk food, some canned food, newspapers, old newspapers. You don't know what she does with them, but they're there.
I mean, you're a werewolf, you know.
Yeah.
You might need them.
Yeah. Hoarder? Question mark?
It's fine.
Hmm.
That's what your friends are here for. This
Yeah.
was secretly an intervention.
Darla, you have a problem.
So, as the three of you enter this safe house, you realize, despite this being a very secure location, you're not alone.
Ooh.
There is someone sitting on we'll say the bench press bench that Darla has set up. Someone who has this very, what is the word for it? It looks like, wow, I'm just drawing a blank now. Like a feed bag almost, that is this cloak over them. They have a hood pulled up. And they say, well, Darla, it's about time you made it back.
Sorry, do I know you?
I'm a friend of a friend.
Joe, Melanie.
Let's go with that.
Oh, okay.
I have some information for you. I assume that you know a little bit about the history of Mars, that it once was a colony of Earth, that there used to be great domed cities that fell into ruin as chaos ensued, and the terraforming that had begun was never finished. But it's led to the breathable atmosphere that we currently have, or as much of an atmosphere as you can call it. But I think that the three of you might be the perfect people to seek out the project that I have learned about that will allow the terraforming to restart.
Did Melody say this?
It doesn't really matter, does it?
I mean, because I have to get back to Melody about this. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, let's say Melanie said it.
Can you tell us more?
What more is there to tell? I can give you the location, and I can tell you it won't be easy to get there.
But what's in it for us at the end of it all? Let's cut to the chase. What are we doing this for?
Well, to restart the terraforming would allow Mars to thrive, to maybe even make it a better world than we have now, this awful, sandy nightmare that we live in, to maybe restore some sort of civilization, to make it like Earth it was.
Did Toe Jam put you up to this?
No, Toe Jam would not be in for this.
Sounds like a dangerous escapade for three. Why us?
Oh, there's something special about the three of you, I think you know.
I'm a firefighter.
Yes, you are.
And she like stands proud in her in her slash tank top that you can sort of see her abdomen and might be bleeding a little bit.
Just a little bit, it's fine.
Just a little bit. It's a flesh wound.
Yeah, it adds to the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always down for an adventure.
I thought you might be. And they give you a very tattered looking map that leads a fair distance away. And there are some notes on there about different dangers along the way, different warlords, different environmental risks. So you know that it's not going to be an easy journey. but it sounds like one that might be beneficial to everyone in the end.
It's only beneficial if we have guaranteed status and stature at the end of all of this. I mean, you know, what's to say we don't go put our lives in jeopardy and do all of this work and then get screwed in the end. So, you know, I've got to make sure that my crew and I are taken care of.
That's fair. I think if you are able to restart this and protect this terraforming plant from the raiders who obviously would want to put an end to it. They don't want to change the status quo. They want things to stay exactly like they are, because a thriving world would put an end to them. A world of plenty would mean that there'd be no need for the killing and stealing. I think if you are able to do that, you could do anything you want. I think you would be the heroes of Mars, the saviors even.
I'm going to need this in writing.
And they pull out this very grimy looking ink pen, pull the cap off, and on the back of the map, they write, Saviors of Mars.
Abacus is in.
Yeah, Darla takes one look at it and looks and says, "Looks legit."
Easily convinced. Ashina?
Oh, I'm in.
Perfect. And as the three of you, I imagine, kind of turn to each other, you know, to confirm before you all agree, you look back and realize that they're gone.
Well, I'll be damned.
Darla starts like confusedly looking around, like in the corners of the her like hideout, and being like, "I was pretty sure this was secure. There weren't any other entrances." And then starts like going through like newspaper piles and being like looking for like an escape hole or something. Being like, "I don't understand. Like, wait, where did he go?"
And you don't find anything. There is nothing that tells you that this would be not secure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I'm looking at everybody's sheet right now to see who would know best. Probably Ashina would be the one who's got the best abilities here. So I'm going to ask for intelligence and occult, which again is 4 dice for you, to see what you know about Geru history.
4, 9, 8, 7.
Okay, so again, 3 successes. You know that Geru tradition is passed down orally. There's generally nothing written down, because then people would more easily be able to learn about you and possibly even hunt you down, because people are scared of things that are powerful like Geru. Also, just the history of werewolves. There's a lot of stories from Earth that was of how they hunted humans. You know, they would eat people on a regular basis, so humans are still very scared of werewolves in general. But you also know that there are stories that once, before the Great War, Geru and other shapeshifters could cross over into the spirit world. But as far as you know, no one has been able to do that for hundreds of years.
Darla will keep looking. Convinced he dug a hole in there somewhere.
Would you convey this to your friends at all?
Would I convey that to my friends? Yeah, I mean, I think that I would share information with them that I felt would be relevant on our adventure.
So, as she mentions this about certain types of creatures being able to pass over from the physical world to the spiritual world, would either of you have any kind of reaction to that?
Probably. Darla will be surprised and then nod and say, "Oh yeah, I knew that." She clearly didn't know that. She had no idea.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Just
very
like
obvious to everyone.
puts back like a bunch of like piles of newspaper and just like pats them on the.
What about Abacus?
I don't think I would have too strong of a reaction. Yeah.
I think that, especially Ashina, you are fairly certain that's probably what happened here. That they were able to get into this secure location by traveling through the spirit world, and that's how they left as well. So it's not necessarily that Darla's safe house isn't secure, just maybe not secure in a spiritual sense.
That makes sense.
I feel like Abacus would be at this point like trying to warn everybody of like ways to keep themselves safe, like asking Darla to find some salt so we can put like a perimeter around us to keep the bad spirits out, and like just trying to warn everybody and give everybody like a quick 101 on like spiritual and psychic warfare.
Darla is fully in this and she believes every word, so she just goes around like grabbing salt, putting salt on like the surroundings of her like little hidey hole, and just like doing all the things, but like hanging like garlic from the ceiling and stuff like that.
I love it. And we talked pre-stream about the vehicle that you all share. Where would you keep that?
Could keep it the extra space in the fire department that they have, the empty slot that they never use. That's where we keep the boombox. Yes, we named our car.
I love that. And Jack, did you have any certain kind of vehicle in mind?
I mean, I've got to drive the boombox so that these two can break away whenever we need them to be able to just get out and go.
Absolutely. What kind of truck would it be?
I mean, it's going to be something that's big and powerful and very intimidating. Because it's going to make up for the muscle that I don't really have.
So, are you telling me that Abacus has like the giant jacked up truck?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Because of the fact that Abacus is so unassuming and so not intimidating on his own. So, when it comes to things like weaponry and vehicles and stuff, we have to add some intimidation there.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and Heather, you were giving some description a little bit of your thoughts on this vehicle and like how it's Mad Maxified. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're in the post-apocalypse on Mars, so it's not like this is going to be a brand new vehicle or anything. So it's very rough and tumble, very beat up, but well taken care of, well maintained. But obviously, the sun and the red sands of Mars have been kind of harsh on the exterior. We've got spikes and all kinds of things attached to the hubcaps so that if people try to get too close to us or whatever, like we're taking out your fucking tires and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure that it's got the big like dual exhaust things coming out of the top of it because
of course,
that adds to the intimidation factor. In the back of the truck, we've got a couple of high speed, high performance motorcycles that we can jump on and take off individually if we need to. And then in the back, actually, also the tailgate, there's a release button in the console of the truck, and like if there's someone following behind us, the tailgate will actually release, and it acts almost like a spike strip. So it can just drop off, and it stays attached to the truck so that we don't lose our tail, but it will act as like a spike strip for any pursuing vehicles.
I love that.
It's kind of like the things when you tow your truck, or with the tow truck has.
Yeah.
It has a nice little snap cable on it, so it comes back.
Yeah.
Once you just hit a button to retract it.
Yeah. It's like Mad Max meets James Bond. I'm here for it.
It's all about the tech. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's your job here, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. So are the three of you doing anything else before you load up to head out?
Darla will remind everyone that since they leased it from the fire department, everybody should have their own keys to the space where it's being held in. Bit of lore for us there,
Before we head out, I need to know if Darla has any spare ammunition, because I need to refill my holsters and stuff.
I mean, sure, yeah. If DM will allow, she'll have ammunition.
Yeah, absolutely.
She seems like a hoarder, so yeah.
Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Bits and pieces.
I just need to make sure that my stuff is charged up because, as somebody who tends to be a little bit more of a jokester or trickster, I like to do things that will kind of distract from time to time. So things like, poi balls from flow arts and stuff are there, but they're really just meant as distractions to tie everybody up. But I've got some tricks up my sleeve. So, but I need to charge up these weapons before we get out of here. So that's my biggest focus. That and just getting myself ready for the adventure ahead.
Yeah, I think that probably taking the night to rest, Darla, you'd be able to heal up from your one very minor wound.
Okay.
It does not heal your tank top, unfortunately, but
her favorite tank top.
Physically,
Rip.
It is ripped now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Abacus, you are able to charge up your tech. Ashina, you are able to get ammunition. You have to dig through a lot of just crap, and you find multiple calibers that you maybe didn't even know existed, but you also find what you need. And so as the three of you load up into your vehicle and head out, there are not really roads at this point. The roads that were there are mostly destroyed. Between the raiders and scavengers, the chaos that came from the fall of civilization as the Earth was destroyed and Mars fell into just absolute lawlessness, not a whole lot survived. But you are able to make your way out of this small settlement. As you are driving across the red sands, you do see in the distance what used to be a domed city, but the glass that covered it has been shattered for hundreds of years. You can see the ruins of buildings that are charred, and at this point, partially covered in sand. It's somewhat submerged. And you know that is not your final destination, but that is just kind of a thing that you see as you are passing by. And your first sort of terrain obstacle is a mountainous pass that chances are there are likely to be raiders in this area. there are not a lot of places you could go. There's just kind of this pass to get through. So if anyone were to try to get the jump on you, this would probably be the place they would do it.
Is this the only way that they can get to their destination?
It significantly cuts down on the time by like weeks.
So then we need a plan.
Yeah, I think we need a plan. Is anyone good at plans?
I think we should let Ashina be the overseer of the plans on this one.
Okay, so if we're thinking about like a mountain pass, you're like the road, or what we're using as a road, and then we're talking like cliffs and stuff on either side where they absolutely could get the jump on us. I mean, I think we like Mad Max it and just take it as fast as we can and hope that they're not expecting a souped up vehicle to come roaring through here. Although, you know, we could send someone ahead on one of the bikes as like a scout, but that is going to draw, the bike is not super quiet, so that is going to
Neither is the truck.
Right. But I mean, if we're taking the truck and we're just plowing through there, then we're taking them by surprise. If we send the motorcycle first, then they have time to be like, oh shit, well, there are people coming.
That's true. I will say, just for y'all's information, the person who actually has the best drive ability would be Darla here.
Yes, from her days as a speed racer.
A fire truck driver.
Yes, also that.
Which is also a speed racer.
Yeah, she was speed racing with fire trucks, which was definitely not allowed, and a safety hazard. But
yeah,
who's gonna tell her no? Many people did.
Yeah, I mean, seeing how this is a post-apocalyptic world, I feel like it's not like the traditional large red fire truck. This is probably just like somebody's pickup that again is souped up and has maybe like a big tank on the back that they use to fight fires with. But you know, still plenty of drag racing opportunities for you and the other fire
Absolutely.
truck.
Yes.
Makes so much sense. Getting all the deep Darla lore.
Yes. Yeah, Darla will offer to that she knows how to speed race and stuff like that. The verbiage of racing, I do not know the terminology, but she would. And yes, she would say words about speed racing and talk about turns and speeds and horsepower.
Which are all things that people in the UK know so much about.
Especially me. Yes.
You know, I think Abacus, one of the tricks that Abacus has up their sleeve is, you know, like I mentioned before, I do have some psychic abilities, and so I'm proposing that we try a trick. And so the goal is we're going to make our truck actually appear to be like an ice cream truck to really, really like throw people off as they're in this world. They're going to be like, what the hell? And so they're going to be so confused that hopefully they're either going to leave us alone or they're going to come for the ice cream. And then at that point, they're so close to us, we can just wipe them out.
This sounds like a foolproof plan.
So why don't we have Darla driving and Abacus is weaving their cloaking magic or whatever. And then actually I'm going to climb into the back of the truck and kind of hide between the two motorbikes and take out any, bandits or whatever you want to call them that might pop up on the cliffs trying to like shoot at us, take out our tires, like anything like that. So Hopefully the disguise will work, but if they decide to start shooting at us anyway, I'll be there to take them out.
I love it. Jack, I'm going to say intelligence and technology. So it's going to be 7 dice.
Okay. I've got a 3, a 5, 2 7s, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. Yeah, with 5 successes, I think even to your companions, this looks convincingly like an ice cream truck, which is a little strange just because, like post-apocalyptic Mars. So it probably looks a little bit like the Twisted Metal, like clown car thing, but, it fits. Yeah, and so, Darla, I'm going to have you give me a dexterity and driving roll, please.
Right. That is an 8, a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Fantastic. Yeah. So between the two of you, you really don't have any issues getting through this pass initially. But Ashina, as you're watching from the back, you do see that you're being followed. You see from either side of this pass a pair of motorcycles descend, and they're on this dirt road behind you, kind of keeping their distance, trying to be a little bit low profile, you can imagine.
Well, if we have 2 motorcycles after us, I'm just gonna be like, Darla and Abacus, keep going, watch out for yourselves. I'm dropping one of our motorcycles off the back, and I'm leading these 2 assholes away from my friends. And as they're like getting close to me, I'm gonna drop some like caltrops off to either side, and their tires are gonna flatten and they're gonna fly like head over heels. So I'm gonna take care of those 2 guys and get them off of our heels.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a dexterity, and I'm going to say craft in this case. That would be 5 dice.
Okay. I got 8, 10, 8, 6, and 2, so 4 successes.
Damn. Okay, y'all are rolling fantastic. Other than that, like one time that it wasn't so great, but yeah, you are absolutely able to. Probably even you have like saddlebags on this bike, and you can just like pull a cord and it drops these caltrops out, and yeah, it absolutely sends them both flying. So you have neutralized these motorcycles.
Sweet.
We should
Awesome.
celebrate with some ice cream.
Yeah, then I zoom back to the ice cream truck so that we can all celebrate.
Did you psychically make ice cream as well? That's the real question.
Of course. It wouldn't be a solid costume without all of the fixings. So we were ready just in case.
Ready to sell ice cream.
Yeah. What kind of post-apocalyptic ice cream flavors would there be? That's my real
most of them are toxic. So, the idea is it's really so that it's more weaponry than anything. This way, if somebody does approach the ice cream truck and they need to buy some ice cream, I can sell it up, serve it to them, and then as they're walking away eating their ice cream, they just start dropping like flies. It's awesome.
I'm just imagining that like once Mars started to be colonized, that there's like a Britney Spears brand of ice cream called Toxic that you've also made toxic.
Amazing.
Nice.
Love it.
Other flavors include like radiant radiation, biohazard special.
Exactly.
There's an Imagine Dragons one that's radioactive. That was a hard sentence to say.
It's a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. If you all listen to the classics, obviously, because at this point it's been a few hundred years since any of those people were even alive. Uh, so you make it past this first hazard relatively without incident. But you do see ahead of you that there is a large cloud of dust being kicked up on the road. You can imagine, it's hard to tell from a distance, but you can imagine it's probably from vehicles. And they are headed in your direction.
Is there anywhere nearby that they could get off the road and like possibly hide the vehicle so that in case they do come into the area that they just pass us without being noticed?
Absolutely. You could potentially like hide in some of the nearby ruins, or even in like some of the like rocky formations.
With her expertise specifically in horsepower and time and distance and cars and things,
That's a lot of math for someone with
how
2,000 intelligence.
but she has so much experience. She does it in her head automatically.
Mm-hmm.
How would they be able to make it in time before they come over?
I think you know that it would be doable. The chances are okay that you could do it without being noticed, but because of the desert nature of the planet, you also kick up a lot of dust, not nearly as much as they do because there's obviously several different vehicles. So it's possible that they could see that still, but they may not.
Okay, Darla is going to take the vehicle, bring down the vehicle speed to go slower, and then hopefully that won't kick up as much dust.
Sure.
And then drive the vehicle to an area where she thinks that they might be able to get away with kind of being not seen, hiding, stealthing away from these, and then kind of instruct the group to maybe try and cover the tracks and maybe help her like hide the car, so that in case, because she doesn't know how many there are, and she will express that they will be here anytime soon, and it looks like there's a lot, or it could be a big one. Both cases are very bad, and so yeah, she thinks that they should ride it out, or hide it out, I guess.
It's a bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity and driving roll.
Yes.
And what would Ashina and Abacus be doing meanwhile?
I mean, probably doing what Darla asked and seeing if we could like camouflage the vehicle somehow, cover it up, cover our tracks. Obviously, the dust is settling behind us, so that hopefully they don't really know exactly where we went.
Sure.
But yeah, just in case, we want to try to cover up as much as we can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm getting some things ready in case I need to, put on a little performance to keep them away and unsuspecting.
Perfect. All right, Darla, what'd you get?
3 successes.
Okay. So you feel fairly confident. You do see that there's a bit of lingering dust still, that both your efforts and Ashina's aren't quite able to fully cover up, but Abacus is getting things ready as sort of a backup. And you do see, as these vehicles approach, there is a very large semi. So this 18-wheeler that looks like it is heavily armed and armored, and it is being escorted by, we'll say, half a dozen motorcycles and 3 or 4 smaller like cars and trucks.
Holy shit.
So it looks like a convoy of some sort. And you notice that as they are getting closer, that one of the vehicles and 3 of the motorcycles start to approach your position. So Abacus, whatever you have prepared. Yeah. So what is your plan here? What do you plan to do with this?
I think we have to come up with a really good story about, we were just on our way somewhere else, had a little bit of a breakdown, but we're recovering right now. We're good. So we don't really need any help, but in the meantime, we're just taking a break.
Yeah,
So,
we're a performing troupe.
Exactly.
Abacus can do all kinds of like lighting, flow arts, and that kind of stuff. Darla's really great with fire, and so if they ask us for, a little performance, we can absolutely do that. But are these just humans, or can I tell if there are supernaturals within this group, or how does that work?
Are you attempting to use your ability?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. So I'm going to, let's see, need you to roll wits and wisdom. So let's see. So that is 4 dice for you.
Shit. I only got 1 success.
Okay. So with 1 success, you can sense supernaturals. You can't tell what type or how many.
Oh, damn.
I could use, one of my abilities, which is the cat. I mean, not cat feet. The spider song of being able to listen in on long distance communication. So that would help me to get an idea of how to prepare before they get real close.
Absolutely, you sure could. So that would be resolve and wisdom. So for you, yeah, that would be 5. So a little bit better.
Okay. I've got.
I don't know if.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Yeah, I do have sense danger. Me realizing I have things I can do. I don't know if this would
at the same time.
I don't know if this would work, but it gives me an attempt to detect ambushes or surprise attacks, and I am sensing danger. Do I sense like they are dangerous?
Yes. You would know that most of the time when you're out on the road between settlements, you're not going to meet a lot of people who are helpful or friendly. They're mostly going to be people who want to hurt other people.
Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah. So Jack, what'd you get?
2 9s, 2 7s, and a 4.
Okay. So 4 successes. Yeah, you can hear they have some sort of like walkie-talkies or something. And you can hear them talking about they're looking for food. But you get the sense that they're looking for people to eat.
I was about to say we have ice cream.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe we could convince them that it's like made with real humans.
Please, please, please. Who's good at talking?
I actually have a pretty high charisma score.
Yeah, I think you're
Sweet.
the only one who really has a good.
So I think that like we just played off as like these people are coming up and we're like, welcome friends. We were just about to sit down for some food and ice cream. So we share a little bit of our food and ice cream with them. We tell them that the ice cream, which we've actually colored red in honor of the red sands of Mars. It's a very popular color around here. It's actually made with human blood and plasma and all of the good things that we value inside of ourselves. So they are welcome to share in our dessert with us. And we would love, we invite them to join us for a small performance from Abacus while they enjoy their blood and plasma ice cream.
Amazing. So this is more of a reference for me more than anything, but the vehicle that is approaching is a Packard touring limousine, and that for
Fancy.
those of you who don't know, for our Detroit by Moonlight game, which is my main werewolf game that we played yesterday, they are actually their cairn, their like place where all of our werewolves in Detroit live, is in the old Packard plant in Detroit. So that's just kind of my little reference there to that. So this is a very like old 1930s car. It's got the white wall tires, but these are like white walls with gnarly spikes coming out of them. You see that instead of the normal little like swan hood ornament, it has several different human skulls on it. And you see that the front headlights have been replaced and it's shooting out fire. And you see that these three motorcycles start to circle around this little outcropping that you've hidden in, almost like taunting, as this car pulls up and like drifts in a little bit. And this very large individual gets out, just covered in leather and spikes, with a mask covering their face. And they say, "Who is in there? Come out. We'll make it quick."
It's just us. We're just a band of weary travelers, performers. Our car broke down, so we're taking some time to fix it up. And while we're doing so, we thought about having a little snack. And if you want to take a break with us, you're welcome to have a snack as well.
Oh, we love snacks.
We have lots. And Darla's with a crowbar doing things to the car. Mechanic-y things.
Yeah.
Mechanic-y things to the car, specifically.
Yeah. I'm going to have Ashina give me a charisma, and then I would say, are you trying to, I guess, persuade them? Or are you more wanting to maybe intimidate at this point?
I think more of like almost like a performance.
Yeah.
Of like making them believe that we really are just this band of travelers. We're no threat, you know. So I want them to believe that. So I'm not trying to intimidate them. I want them to just think that we're just three randoms, you know, out here lost in the desert on the way to our next performance venue. Yeah, so probably performance.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me a charisma and performance. So 6 dice.
Damn, that was a good roll. 8. I got an 8, 1, 10, 8, 9, 6. So 5 successes.
Not bad. So you're pretty sure just from their demeanor and the sort of subtle changes, that they definitely feel like you're not a threat. They had been holding this shotgun and sort of like pointing it in your general direction, and they've lowered it, but they're still approaching. Your face. You look so happy right now.
Trying to think of what chaos I can do.
So many.
Such much chaos. How does this whole ice cream visage manipulation magic work? Do we actually have ice cream to give them, or
I mean, from the sounds of it,
blood
yeah.
and plasma ice cream.
Yeah. We have multiple different types of ice cream, but at the end of it all, it's all toxic.
Yeah. But we have one red one that we could probably convince them was actually made from blood.
Yeah.
It's actually fruit punch.
Poison fruit punch. But
Of course.
so our plan is to poison and kill them?
We just invite everybody to, enjoy the ice cream in this world where snacks are not so abundant.
Yeah, and it's
So of
Okay.
course they're gonna be very intrigued by this. Like, where's this ice cream coming from, and what kind is it? And wow, like, yes, of course I want your damn ice cream. What a foolish question for anybody to ask. Yeah.
Right.
and
So
hopefully if they're the typical greedy raiders, they're not just going to take one ice cream. They're going to stuff like 5 of them in their mouth at a time. And then they'll be like super poisoned.
Yeah, Darla's gonna like leave the car where it is and make sure that every single one that comes in their vicinity eats some ice cream. She will make sure that it is her job, life's goal, to feed them ice cream. So she'll like grab the ice creams, put them on side of her bed. She's good with resources. I have lots of pointed resources. So she has trays. You don't know where she pulled them from, but there's trays because she's a hoarder. Let's all be honest. We all know this. And she's got trays in there. She's got like cutlery for some reason. She doesn't know how you eat ice cream because she hasn't seen an ice cream in years.
Right.
And so she's got like spoons and like cups and cutlery, and she's just like going around being this host, making
With,
sure
like,
everybody's
a
getting
soup
ice
spoon
cream.
and a butter knife.
Yeah.
Trying to eat ice cream.
And she's like, it's not the best equipment we have, but it does work. So it is functional. So just like, and then she'll like stick the butter knife into the bowl and like hand it over and be like, and then like watch each one put some in their mouths and be like,
So
yes?
as this large individual approaches, they are now close enough that you can kind of hear them snickering to themselves. And as they pull off, it was like just a very blank mask. It didn't have any kind of facial features to it. They pull it off, and what you see underneath looks to be the face of a bat. It has very large ears, kind of that like blunted nose, and very large, sharp teeth. And so, Ashina, your sense of supernatural creatures, you think at the very minimum, this is probably one of them. I won't even make you roll because that's not something you're used to seeing.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna try to keep going with our facade of just 3 random travelers here. But I'm also going to use a little bit of my charisma and be like, well, hey, handsome, what can we do for you?
Well, you said you had some snacks, and the 3 of you look pretty tasty.
Well, I'm sure that we would be, but we don't typically eat each other around these parts. Is this person angry by any chance?
I mean, no one you see typically looks very happy out in the wasteland. I mean, think about all that sand. Like, nobody's going to be happy with all that sand in their clothes. It's
right.
very gritty, very, like, abrasive.
I mean, I do have a move that can reduce everyone's rage to 1. So I'm like, if this guy's just totally mellowed out, then
unfortunately only apply to Garu.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is more if any of you went into frenzy, which is where you hit 5 rage and you start to try to kill anything and everything, friends or foes. That would be super handy then.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I can tell you from experience, the one time I've had a Garu go into frenzy, that character also died. Partially because they were not able to continue playing and they were like, I want to go out in a blaze of glory. And so they Michael Bay'd themselves with a car. So, you know, it still probably would have happened either way. Somebody would have died.
Well, so what do we do about this guy?
Feed him ice cream.
You are even Darla, with your average intelligence, can tell he does not seem at all interested in ice cream.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm gonna start with some tricks to see if we can get this guy hypnotized and turn him around, you know, because I've got to lean into my psychic abilities. And so I break out the poi balls and start showing him some really cool moves in the hopes of like really just kind of hypnotizing him and getting him to a place where, you know, then at that point I can really lean into those psychic abilities and hopefully send his ass packing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to say probably charisma and either leadership or persuasion. So that would be 5 dice for you either way.
Okay.
But
okay.
Which one would you prefer of the two?
You said persuasion and what was the other one?
Leadership.
Leadership. Probably more of persuasion.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've got 2 unsuccessful and 3 successes. So I have got a 1, a 3, an 8, and 2 9s.
Okay. I'm shocked that no one has gotten a crit yet, which is 2 10s. But it's okay. It's because we got a bunch of crits last week. So, you know, the luck has run out, I guess. But still, with 3 successes, that's pretty good. And he's just like, you know, you're amusing. I'll eat you last.
Darla will carefully and whisperingly suggest that we all get in a car and just drive away.
That is a thought.
Are we assuming that most of the like lesser bandits are dead from the ice cream now?
Oh, they're just circling still.
How many?
They have continued to circle on their motorcycles.
Their time should be running out pretty quickly. But I mean, I do have an ability to erase evidence. So, you know, the goal is that hopefully they're going to start dropping really soon. We can just make all of our evidence disappear and we can do exactly like Darla suggested and just haul ass out of there before things get too nasty with this guy. Especially when he starts to realize that all of the ice cream has been toxic and poisonous, he's going to get a little upset, and I don't know where things are going to go from there. So we might want to, get a move on this.
Right.
I will say, none of them have touched the ice cream. None of them seem interested in the ice cream.
We've been sharing our ice cream with these fuckers and they're not eating it.
I mean, Darla was making sure that they at least put a bite into their mouth. So they should at least be foaming, or something should be starting to absorb into their systems.
So the issue here, Ashina, because you rolled pretty well on your lore, I think you would at least know a little bit about vampires, and you are pretty certain, especially the Batface guy, but you're pretty certain that all of them are likely vampires. And you would also know vampires cannot eat human food. They forcefully regurgitate it immediately.
Well, son of a bitch.
Meanwhile, Darla, somewhere in the back, is like, it's rude to not accept gifts.
I mean, you could try to run. That is an option.
I mean, we've got this like hot rodded truck and the 2 motorcycles, so we could all just make a break for it.
Yeah.
I think it's time to get the hell out of here.
I say we make a break for it, and that's how we use Abacus's erase evidence, is that we take off in some direction, north, south, east, west, whichever way, and then immediately as we're taking off, Abacus's spell, power, whatever, is erasing that evidence, so there's no
I like it.
trail for them to follow of like, oh, the tire tracks are leading this way. They don't know which way we went.
Absolutely. Darla, go ahead and give me dexterity and driving for reasons that you'll find out momentarily. I like to make you worry.
Clearly. I feel like they have a signal for like haul ass and retreat.
Maybe it's just a special howl.
I was gonna say it's just like a howl, you know.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Get into the car, drives away.
Yeah. So, what'd you get on your driving roll?
Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
are the driver.
Yes, I am. That is correct. Yes. Sorry. That is no successes.
Oh no. Okay. So, on the plus side, you are still able to drive. You don't suddenly lose the ability to drive because you rolled poorly. You do not hit any of the motorcycles, and they start to pursue. But Abacus, I'm going to have you give me a roll as well for your ability. As soon as I remember what it is. Yeah, that is Wisdom and Investigation. So that would be 5 dice for you.
I think I got the thing you said we didn't get. I got a 3, a 2, a 4, and 2 10s.
Perfect.
Ooh.
You got a crit. So a critical success means that you double your successes, which would have only been 2, but it is now 4. So, yeah, that is pretty freaking good. So, being on Mars, as we have established, you kick up a lot of dust because it is a very sandy place. And so as you take off, Darla, you try to hit these people on motorcycles, unsuccessful, but kicking up all this dust, sort of gives you a little bit of a head start, especially because the other person has to run back to their car
Mm.
and chase after you. The 3 motorcycles are hot on your tail, but as Abacus is working his mojo, you notice in front of you there is a wall of sand rapidly approaching, which you would know to be a sandstorm.
Yeah.
Which allows you to quickly lose these motorcycles and your pursuing vehicle, but also makes it a little bit difficult for you to navigate.
That is true. Does she know the way that the road usually goes? Would this be something that she, as a fire woman, would ever have driven?
You know what? We'll say yes, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, we'll say that you know enough about it, and you weren't horribly far off the road. That I think it slows you down significantly, but you are able to navigate, and probably even would pull over and just wait out the sandstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So afterwards, you're not fully submerged, but you have to dig out a little bit. But I mean, you're Garu. You're 3 dog people, so like dogs love to dig. You have no problem digging this car out. All right, so you all have gotten back on the road, and at this point, you would know from your ratty map, there's not a whole lot between you and your destination. So you all approach, you see there is a very large mesa, and you see that there is very clearly a path that leads up to it. It kind of goes off of the main road leading towards this, and as you drive up to it, there is just enough room for your car to make it in. And so you drive into this tunnel and quickly see that other people were here before you and are still here. You see that there is a small group of similar looking bandit raider types who seem to have been waiting for you to arrive. And you know, this is the destination that you all are supposed to be going to, the terraforming plant. What are you doing?
Are these the people that we're supposed to be meeting?
They don't look very happy. They look like they've been waiting for you.
Yeah, Darla's gonna pull up with the vehicle, do like a snazzy little handbrake thing, twisty
Tokyo
handbrake.
Drift.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift into space, and maybe get some of that like nice Mars juju going in the air, and get out of the vehicle and like just basically apologize and say they got stuck in a storm. Also, there was like bat people there did not look very friendly. They tried to ignore but couldn't ignore. Yeah, stuff, regular, driving on the road on Mars kind of stuff going on. So yeah, bumpy road.
And you hear a chorus of chuckles from this group of very upset looking individuals. And you see that they're all holding various types of weapons, seemingly ready to be used. Ashina and Abacus, are you doing anything? As you see Darla get out of the vehicle and start making these apologies.
I mean, I'm aiming at them in case they like make a wrong move and I need to take them out.
I'm really just taking a few minutes to kind of size them up and get a feel for who exactly we're dealing with, what mental capacities and things, so that I can, figure out what my next trick may be or could be.
Yeah. So you see someone start to push their way through this crowd. Someone who has like a feed sack pulled over their face, basically, like scarecrow style, and has eye holes cut out and a mouth sort of stitched on. And you see that their leathers seem to be growing some kind of fungus. And I think, Darla, you would have heard just enough that you strongly suspect that this is Toe Jam.
She flashes back to her moment when she got that little leaflet and remembers that they said something about mushrooms. And she remembers thinking, that's not even relevant. And then she flashes back to the moment where they are, and she goes, oh, staring at Toe Jam.
Yeah.
And then she'll point at him, and then shout back to the other two and be like, I think that's Toe Jam. In a very not so subtle way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it. So with that information, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm kind of contemplating whether or not Toe Jam might like some ice cream.
If in doubt, give them ice cream.
It's a solid strategy, really. Are you going to mention it? Or Ashina, would you mention it?
No, I think I'm just like scoping out different places to run for cover if we need to, because I feel like we're severely outnumbered. So yeah.
I feel like Darla's gonna back up towards the truck and then like point to the truck, the clearly an ice cream truck, and then be like, "We have ice cream. Would you like some?" And like try to reach into the truck as if to get ice cream.
I will take this moment to remind y'all that this is Werewolf, and you are werewolves. You are capable of transforming, and that humans go into delirium when you transform, especially into your war form.
I've been waiting on the right moment to do that. I wasn't sure if it was at the little waypoint or not.
Yeah, like
I was curious if that was going to happen then.
yeah, I was thinking of like are there witnesses, because I feel like you don't want witnesses for
I mean,
werewolf
there's a
things.
really easy way to deal with witnesses, and it's called murder.
What happens when humans go into delirium?
They absolutely lose their minds and start running, usually. They also tend to try to rationalize, to use like logic, to explain what they might have seen. So, someone transforming into a werewolf, like, oh, it was probably like swamp gas, or I ate some bad mushrooms right before that happened. Classic.
Oh, okay. I have a play. So Darla is going to get some ice cream for herself, the blood and guts one specifically, not the one that will kill people.
I love that we've added guts to this now.
Well, I can't remember what it had, like blood and plasma. Yeah, there we go. Blood and plasma. And she'll like show how good it is with her face. So she will woman-splain to you how to eat ice cream and how it tastes, and then she'll like kind of like drop the ice cream, kind of like hold herself, look a bit like confused, and transform.
Fantastic. I need you to give me 2 rage checks if you are going into war form. That would be your like the Krynos, that would be the big scary werewolf that most people think of.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Perfect. So that is just 2d10.
2d10.
Yep.
Don't need those. Woo! They yeeted. That's a 7 and a 9 on my floor.
Perfect. So you don't lose any rage. I was going to say, if you got 2 failures here, that would actually be really bad since you all only currently have 2 rage. I will tell you all that there are some ways to gain rage. I didn't give you a point earlier because you didn't take any serious damage, Darla. But typically, taking damage the first time is one way. Also, howling at the moon. You get 1 howl per day, night, what have you. And that would give you rage as well. So if you were to fail, I would allow you to have howled then in order to gain rage. But because you didn't lose any, you are able to transform. And why don't you tell us what it looks like for Darla whenever she transforms into the big scary monster?
She looks like a werewolf, but also golden retriever. But scary golden retriever. So it's like it's cute, but also it shouldn't be doing that or looking like that. There's something very wrong.
I feel very called out by this golden retriever. What about the other 2? What are you doing? As you see your compatriot turn into the scariest golden retriever you've ever seen. But still somehow very cute.
Well, I mean, I also kind of want to be a werewolf, and I have an advantage called Moon Riled that is extra rage the first time you howl. I don't know if that would be like good to use in this moment, like to get us all riled up and excited.
Well, that would only give you extra rage, but it's not a bad thing unless something were to give you more rage, because 5 rage and you automatically frenzy. So it doesn't hurt currently, but it could.
I can provide an extra rage if somebody needs one. Just saying.
Yeah, I think it might be fun to just turn into my werewolf form as well.
Absolutely.
Be pretty cool to scare the humans.
And Jack, what about Abacus?
Yeah, I think just seeing the other 2 starting to transform, I've got to follow suit. I've got to really allow my adrenaline to surge so that I can step into my true form as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So I will have both of you also roll 2d10s. And Lissa, if you are going to use your ability, I would probably say to do it now.
Yes, I use the please hold rights of rage.
Perfect.
Increase Pax rage by 1 if you succeed.
Give me a glory plus intimidation roll, please. So for you, that's
2 plus intimidation.
Only 2.
None.
Only 2. Yeah.
Pray for me. That is a 10 and a 7.
Okay, that is 2 successes. You're good. So everyone in the pack gets an extra rage. You're all at 3.
Cool.
All right. So what did you both get on your 2d10 rolls?
Got an 8 and a 10.
Perfect.
I got a 3 and a 9.
Okay. So it's a good thing that you got that extra point of rage, because you're back down to 2. You lose a point. Which it's funny because the way it describes it is it's not like you're less angry, it's that your rage is less focused. So you still have that like righteous fury for, I would say Gaia, but Gaia is dead. So at this point, just righteous fury at the fact that Gaia is dead, maybe. Yeah, and so you see that the large portion of this crowd immediately scatters. They are toppling each other over in their panic. You see as they clear out that a number of them were trampled in the process. But Tojam and 2 others remain and seem unaffected. And you see that the 3 of them begin to shift as well. And before I talk about that, Ashina and Abacus, why don't you tell us what your full werewolf form looks like?
Well, Ashina's werewolf form looks very much like you would expect a werewolf to look, but except down the middle of her back, like the ridge line of fur there is like a mohawk, and it's bright pink.
Amazing.
And she also has like one cybernetic or like one false eye, so it like glows.
I love the idea that it's cybernetic. That's fantastic. Because, I mean, this is futuristic, but, you know, post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Mm.
You took my eye. Almost.
I'm sorry.
I might have to say that you did it literally and figuratively, since it's in so, well, I was going to have one eye, but I don't know that I can do that. So I'm going to actually.
Can we retroactively be sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jack, but since, you know, part of your inspiration for this was Stede Bonnet, so, you know, pirate, can we retroactively say that Abacus has had an eye patch this whole time?
Yes.
Ooh.
Absolutely. In fact, hold on. Let me get ready for it.
Oh, this is fantastic. I'm excited.
We'll do this instead.
Yes. I love it. Anyway, continue, please.
So yes, Abacus also has the ability to see out of one eye normally, but then has some cybernetic properties with the other eye, which is why, you know, one eye is covered there. So yeah, and then as far as my full form goes, I mean, I think that Abacus goes from being very small and seemingly, you know, inconspicuous to being, it's very much like the Incredible Hulk. If you accept, instead of being all green, he is like midnight black, very dark, very large, very overwhelming and intimidating, and it's very, very like booming voice and all of the things. Although it's really more of an illusion, because, you know, Abacus is just Abacus and doesn't really have that kind of physical prowess. But we're gonna do everything we can to look and seem as intimidating as possible.
Absolutely. And one nice thing for the Krynos form, for the war form, is that, for one thing, you gain extra health. You gain an extra 4 levels of health. You also now can regenerate damage. You, in addition, now have claw attacks as well as bite, and all of your physical tests, so any kind of like physical attack, gives you an extra 4 dice. So for Darla, you have so many dice that you have to roll now. But you notice that Tojam and these other 2 look a little different. So they also transform into werewolves. And Ashina, before you fully transform, because it's roughly at the same time, if you wanted to try to find out more, I would say you could give me what did I say before? I think it was intelligence and occult, maybe?
I have a
No.
0.
Oh, no, that was Darla who did that. Sorry, Darla, if you wanted to do that.
Sure.
Since you're the one
Intelligence
who
and
does
occult.
have... Yeah, since you're the one who does have the occult.
That is a 9, a 6, and a 7. So 3 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. You notice on these Geru, they're not quite hairless, but their hair is very short. And you see that they have not a tattoo, but more like ritual scarification on their bodies in the form of large spirals that cover their bodies. And you would recognize that there is a fallen group of Geru that serve the enemy of Gaia, which is the worm spirit, which is a spirit of destruction and entropy. These are black spiral dancers, and they are some of the worst of the worst. They are Geru who basically went into hell and were transformed for the worse. They are demonic at this point.
Okay. Yeah, she'll like look at them as they beef out and then kind of like growl and say, what would she say? You work for the worm.
I love it. In your Kranos form, part of why the social tests are penalized, well, not penalized, they automatically fail, is because your speech is very limited. You can only say a few words at a time, and usually kind of Hulk style, things like smash or kill. But I think that is short, succinct enough.
Or she could be, or she could just say fucking worm.
Amazing.
Also
even
acceptable.
Better. Yeah, even better. So all of you would know just enough about kind of spiritual information, lore, to know that the worm is bad. The worm is essentially why everything went to shit. The worm was working to cause the apocalypse and caused it. So the reason why you all live in this nightmare world is the worm. And so these three are servants of the worm. So I will give you all the option to act first, since you did wolf out before they did slightly.
I mean, can I just bite one of them?
Absolutely. That would be strength and brawl. Which is not great for you.
That's not great for me. I have 2 strength and 0 brawl.
Yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Would I have done better to stay in my human form and keep my firearms?
Yes, but also, where's the fun in that?
Right. Oh, well, at least I got a 7 and a 10.
Okay. I do have some bad news. They got 4 successes. So the way that this works with the opposed dice rolls, even though you were the attacker because they got significantly more than you did, they're going to do some damage, but not a ton. So I am the one who has to do all the math, and I am not a math gay. So give me just a minute. So you would take 3 superficial damage. So just a slash on your health. And the nice thing is, once you fill up, because I think you had 6 health, So you can take up to 6 in superficial, and then it essentially restarts. So you can take a total of 12 in your human form. You have an extra 4 right now, so you really took very little damage, realistically. So you're fine. But yeah, after Ashina, who wants to go next?
Darla's feeling pissed off knowing that they are wormy boys. So how far
The
away?
irony of you all being dogs and worms.
Yeah. How far away is she from Toe Jam?
I mean, the nice thing about this is it's less tactical than like D&D, for example. So you are definitely within range to charge and attack.
Because I could hair's leap over there and kind of try and take him out.
You sure could, yeah. I would say because of your Krynos form, I'm not even going to ask you to roll because you already have like enhanced strength and things.
Okay.
So yeah, you are absolutely able to channel the spirit. It does say either a hare or a frog or a kangaroo. So I mean, you can choose which one you like best.
Trying to picture them all jumping. Which one would be coolest? I feel like kangaroo jump over there, and specifically with kangaroo like legs to push him back.
Also, because Mad Max is Australian, kangaroo just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me your strength and brawl roll, please.
Strength and brawl. Where is brawl? Okay.
Yeah, it's also less good for you.
3 successes.
Okay. I again have bad news because Toe Jam got my first critical of the night with 5 successes. So
How dare?
Yeah. So the to give you all a little bit of clarity on how the math side of it works without going too much into it, essentially we're comparing the number of successes, and for every success they have over what you got, that adds a damage plus their normal damage.
Okay.
But it's okay. I mean, it's not like wildly different. So you're going to take, it would be 3, but this would be aggravated because Toe Jam is going to bite you. So that would be X's. So that is the more serious damage. But again, you have an extra 4 because of your Krynos form.
Okay. So I take 3 serious damage.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and Abacus.
Yeah, I'm about to claw the hell out of these folks because messing with my crew, and we just can't have that. So
Absolutely.
break out the claws.
Let's do it. Yeah. So that would be strength and brawl. So for you, that's 3.
Ooh. We're not doing so well. I got a 5, a 1, and a 7.
Oh, 1 success.
1 success.
That's it.
Okay. My digital dice are really hot now, all of a sudden, because this. Well, I guess, are you going after Toe Jam or are you going after one of the other ones?
I'm going after whoever was just messing with Darla over there.
That would be Toe Jam. Definitely looks to be the beefiest of the 3. So yeah, totally up to you. Yeah, so that was my second crit. But let's see, math. Wow, I'm so good at math. So that would be 2 aggravated damage to you, as he is going to also bite. And we'll go back to Darla.
I am not happy for taking that much damage. So,
I will say, normally in combat, you don't, like, once it's initiated, take more rage, but I'm going to give you another point of rage because you are sort of the rage captain here. So taking that much damage, being the beefiest, I can imagine that would be pretty infuriating.
So she is going to. I'm not sure how the porcupine's reprisal works. So do I attack and then use that, or is that like a full?
Because you took damage, you can use that.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me look.
So I deal superficial damage equal to glory to the attacker. So I'm guessing my glory, so 2.
Yep, that is correct.
And I use up 1 rage.
You don't use it. You have to make a rage check, which means you can lose it.
Oh, okay.
So
how many dice do I roll? 1d10.
Just 1.
Okay. 7.
Perfect. You do not lose any glory, or not glory.
Okay.
Any rage.
Rage.
So yeah, you do 2 superficial damage back, and I think, yeah. What does that look like for you? It doesn't have to be spikes. It could be anything. Well, anything other than teeth.
Yeah. I feel like she would be spiky, but it's not like consistently spiky. So it's like a special ability that she like grows these. It kind of looks like her fur just gets like, you know, like when a cat like gets on its on his back and just like hisses at you. It's kind of like that. So you think it's her just like beefing up, because I mean in person she also beefs up.
Right.
But then actually it's like it's like spiky and it does damage, extra damage. Yeah. And she just kind of like I guess she could kind of like shove him with her shoulder a bit just to like dig him in.
I mean, the fact that like he would have had to have been very close up, and you were trying to bite him, so you know, leaping onto him, you all would be very in intimate quarters at this point because of the nature of your fighting. So I don't think it'd be very hard for you to do this damage back to him in whatever form you see fit. So so yeah, go ahead and you can still attack because that's essentially like a reaction.
Okay. So she is going to, let's see what I can do. Bites and claw. Which one does more damage? Is it bite or claw?
So claw does more numerically. Bite does aggravated damage automatically.
So what does aggravated mean?
That's the more serious damage.
Ah. Okay, we're gonna chomp this bitch. So what do I roll?
So that would still be your strength and brawl.
Okay.
And don't forget that you're adding 4 to it. I did forget to remind you all of that on the first round, so that is my bad.
Because adding 4 to the result.
No, 4 dice.
Oh, add 4 dice on top. Okay.
On top of your strength and brawl. Yes. That is my bad.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. No crits. However, that's a lot of damage.
And I will tell you now that Toe Jam only got 2 successes, so.
Well, he's gonna have to fight me. Because that's 2, 4, that's 6 successes. Now 2, 4, 6. That's 7 successes.
Okay, and so the bite adds an extra to that success, so that's 8 successes. And so the way to further give you the information that I do on the math side, you half all of the damage. So 8 successes becomes 4, but that is 4 aggravated damage. That's a big hit. So yeah, you on top of the 2 superficial. So yeah, you've definitely done some serious damage to Toe Jam.
I feel like she rages. You hear this, like, she's like gathering up all this energy, and then she just goes for the jugular because she's mad. And she's just gonna go in and take a bite out of him.
Taking a bite out of crime.
Yeah, taking a bite out of this toe jam fungusy thing, whatever.
Yeah, as you bite into him, you notice that the fungus is almost like it's part of him. Like it's still on him in his Krynos form. So it's a little moldy tasting.
She makes a mental note to never fuck with mushrooms.
Except for, certain types. If you want to recreationally,
You're just giving Abacus ideas for new ice cream flavors.
Psilocybin flavor ice cream. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All right, Ashina.
Well, I mean, I am definitely like hyped up watching Darla over here just rage out against Toe Jam. Kind of wishing I'd hung in there with my human form while I watched my 2 co-conspirators in their werewolf form, but yeah, I think I'm gonna jump in there with the whole Toe Jam fight as well.
Yeah, I will say, at any point for Ashina and Abacus, if you wanted, it costs nothing to go back to human form.
Oh,
so you can go back at any point if you wanted.
Well, yeah, I feel like Ashina is much better with her guns than she is with her teeth and her claws.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna change back into my human form and try to see if I can go grab my SMG really quick.
And because your clothes would have probably not fully torn, but because you have transformed, you would have tatters of clothes at this point. But your things that you had on you would still probably be on your person. So like an SMG, you would probably have like strapped across your chest or something. So like it would have probably still been on you. So I would say you don't even need to go anywhere.
Awesome. Well, I'm totally fine fighting half naked in tattered clothing as long as I have my trusty SMG.
Absolutely.
Not so much worried about the clothes as I am making sure I have my weapon.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me a dexterity and firearms roll.
Sweet.
Which is, significantly better for you.
8. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3. Damn, 4 successes.
Okay.
Only one of them is a 10.
That's all right. So fortunately, because you are the person who sort of initiated this, the fact that you tied just means that you're going to do a little bit less damage. But we have established that you are using incendiary ammunition, which does aggravated damage automatically. And for a bonus, silver and fire cannot be healed by Garu. Or at least not with their normal regeneration powers. So, let's see. Do some math. So you would only do 2 aggravated damage, but he cannot heal that aggravated damage. And especially Darla, because you're up close and personal with Toe Jam, you notice that the damage you did with your Porcupine's Reprisal healed pretty quickly. So you see those wounds start to close up. Your bite didn't heal automatically, and now you see that Ashina absolutely lights him up and fires his SMG, and that howls, like he howls in response in pain. And you see that that does not heal either, as it sets his skin slightly ablaze. And Abacus, it is your turn.
Well, you know, I can't just leave Darla by herself with this situation. I feel like Ashina's got a pretty good grasp on where things are headed over there. So I am kind of on the fence about if I should de-evolve and bust out some science and tech stuff, or if I should just bite Toe Jam one more time. But I think ultimately what I decide to do is lean into the science and tech, and I've been able to make it so that it seems like there's actually 2 sets of us.
Oh,
So now they have to figure out which of us is the real ones.
hell yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we're gonna amp it up, and we're gonna let them play a little guessing game as I have fun with my bag of tricks over here.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to have you do is give me an intelligence and technology roll. So for you, 7 dice. And I'm going to have them roll opposed, but Toe Jam is not that smart. So you've got a significant advantage. Yeah, they got 2 successes. So
Ooh. I have 4 successes. I have 3 10s and a 9.
oh shit. Okay, so the 10s make that now 5 successes.
Nice.
So yeah, that is another crit.
Awesome.
Just racking them up tonight after I said that we didn't have any.
Yeah. The only other numbers I have are I've got 2 2s and a 4.
Ooh. Okay. So because you have extra rage, I've kind of been playing a little bit loose with it just because it's a lot to remember sometimes with the rage dice. But with your rage dice, they essentially replace some of the dice, and it doesn't actually affect your abilities. It doesn't make them weaker or anything. But what it does is on 1s or 2s on the rage dice, it causes a brutal failure, but because you're trying to do harmful things at this point, it's actually helpful to you in some ways. So it almost counts as like 2 more successes.
Nice.
Yeah. So at this point, your tech is very confusing with 2 successes on Toe Jam's part. You can see that while it doesn't do physical damage, trying to figure out what just happened seems to be doing like psychic damage almost. Like you can see the cogs turning in his brain practically, and almost like he's having it almost looks like maybe he's having like an aneurysm a little bit, because he's just trying to process this, and you have really fucked him up.
Good.
Mentally.
I'm going to let him know that, we can keep going and I can keep duplicating us, and right now there may only be 2 of each of us, but before I'm done, there's going to be an entire army.
I love that. Yeah. So at this point, the 2 lackeys absolutely have lost their will to fight. Would anyone be doing anything as they try to run? This is essentially like a free action that I would allow you to have.
Would I take any damage if I did?
No, there's no opportunity attacks here.
I was going to say, I'm totally shooting them in the back.
Amazing.
I was about to say, like, I could try and trip one of them.
I mean, you could full on, like, yes, you've been grappling with Toe Jam, but he is currently mentally occupied by confusion and also bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the opportunity to just pounce on one of them if you wanted.
Yeah, I feel like the real Darla, shall we say, will attack one of the lackeys closest to her, being like, "You're not getting away." She doesn't say that because that's way too many words, but
right. Yeah,
maybe like your
mind,
your mind would be the equivalent of that, and then like
probably not even like your mind, just like mine.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just saying I could just hear Darla being like, "You."
Yeah.
On.
Right. Yeah. So go ahead and give me your strength and brawl, please.
Do I add the extra 4?
You sure do.
Yay! So many
And
dice.
Ashina, if you want to give me your dexterity and firearms to shoot at the other one.
It's a crit.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Those two no. But then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes and a crit.
Are you counting the 2 10s in the 4 successes?
No.
Okay, so 8
It's
successes.
4 successes plus 2 10s.
Okay, and yeah, because those 10s double, so that makes that 8 successes. Yeah. How do you murder this werewolf?
I feel like she'll like feel them like nearby, and like feel them kind of like start to move, and she'll like grab her paw. Werewolves have paws?
Yeah.
Hands?
I
Paws?
mean, they're more like hands at this point because you're a werewolf, but like
Okay.
kind of a paw.
Yeah, her claws will come out anyway. And she'll like grab him, like shove him down, because I feel like with a crit, she has the opportunity to like grab him and like saw them down into the ground, or them down to the ground, and just like bite their neck, I guess, and at the back of their neck.
Yeah. And I mean, realistically, this is a game like during Pride Month, for Pride, for the Trans Empowerment Project. So like, I think it's safe to assume that these bad guys are cishet men. So like, yeah.
Very enthusiastically downs them.
Yeah. So, I mean, biting at the back of the neck. So snapping the spinal cord, very clearly killing, almost mercifully, because that would be a very quick death, which is not what you're giving to Toe Jam at all.
He doesn't deserve one. He's been a bad boy.
We're gonna force feed him ice cream.
Mm-hmm. He's been a bad dog, is what he's been.
Yes.
And Heather, what'd you get on your firearms?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Fantastic. Yeah, because again, you're using the incendiary ammo. How do you annihilate this other one? Because they're much weaker than Toe Jam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this person is running away, so literally all I have to do is just mean, I don't know how ethical it is in warfare to shoot someone in the back, but that's literally all I have to do.
There are no
And again,
governments at
they're
this
just
point, so
they're just engulfed in flames, and next thing you know, they're gone.
we started with the not Thunderdome and setting someone on fire. We're almost at the end and setting another person on fire.
Yeah, going out in a blaze of glory, you know.
Yep, full circle. Fantastic. And with that, because those were essentially kind of free actions, I will give Abacus the opportunity, because your last turn was used as more of a distraction, if you want to do anything to Toe Jam at this point, because he is not occupied by Darla at the moment.
Well, I told you, Toe Jam is going to eat some ice cream. This has to happen. So I grab Toe Jam and I ask him if he's ready for his last meal before shoving mounds of this toxic, poisonous ice cream down his throat, and just, absolutely knowing, regardless of what comes next, he's done. We have just destroyed him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to assume, but would you say that it's fair to say that some of this ice cream would have been like acidic?
Oh, I'm sure there's so many different levels of toxicity across our smorgasbord, our Baskin Robbins of toxic ice cream in this truck here.
Absolutely.
31 flavors, we got them.
So I'm just picturing, as you have force fed him all of this, that, as you mentioned earlier, he starts foaming at the mouth, almost seemingly rabid. But then you notice that his jaw begins to disintegrate and his chest collapses in on itself from all of this acidic, poisonous ice cream. And you have finished off the infamous Toe Jam.
Yes.
And of course, his mushrooms eat him at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate with some good ice cream. I've got a secret stash just for us.
Yeah, it's all the edible ice cream.
Also, Darla will change back to Homid? Question mark?
Oh, the Hamid, yeah, the human form.
Hobbit, yeah. You don't know where she grabs it, but so I have the firebug.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to set this bitch on fire.
Absolutely.
Is she a pyromaniac, and that's why she's a firefighter, firewoman?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. She would like to light this up.
Yeah. And you notice as there is this other burning Garu and now the burning Toe Jam. First of all, when they die, they shift from their Krynos back into human form. Secondly, the light from these two burning people shows you that this is a very large cavernous room. And you notice there is kind of old looking technology, like almost 60s kind of supercomputer kind of stuff lining the walls that you hadn't really noticed before. And I will need Abacus to give me another intelligence and technology roll just to figure out how to get it going. So that is, another 7 dice.
7, okay. All right. I've got a 1, a 3, 3 5s, a 6, and a 10.
Okay. 2 successes. It takes a while. You definitely are struggling a little bit, probably because this is tech that is now like several hundred years old, like almost 100 years even before the nuclear apocalypse that destroyed the Earth. So it's just a little outdated. I mean, they're using floppy disks, and you've never probably seen one of those, being a future boy. But eventually you're able to figure it out. And the lights start to come on. You hear that very loud like click of those like floodlights. And you hear the hum of this machinery as it starts up. And there's a cloud of dust that starts to kind of kick up inside of this cave. And quickly, that dust is shoved out through the entrance you came through. And you are breathing now the freshest air you've ever breathed. Up to this point, it's been very sandy and polluted and almost corrosive. This feels clean and nice. And as you continue to explore this cave, you realize that this mesa that this structure is built into, at the very top, there are stairs that lead up, a spiral staircase. At the very top, there is an entire garden, a green oasis in this harsh red land. Potentially even a home for you to start. You would know that while there are plants that are able to be grown on Mars, it is very difficult. And most of the time, you're not seeing a lot of greenery like this. This is probably the only time in your life you've seen this outside of maybe some very old books. And you feel almost a spark of spiritual energy that maybe you've never really truly felt before. You know, the Geru talk about it. You've heard of the old times and the connection that Geru had to Gaia and the spiritual world, but you've never really felt it until now. And with that, I think that's a good place for us to end this session.
We did it.
Yay!
Thank you all for coming and playing. Like I said, we played a little bit fast and loose with a couple of the rules just for simplicity's sake. But I hope you all enjoyed. I had a lot of fun playing this ridiculous, futuristic Mad Max world of Werewolf, and getting to just fuck around with the lore a little bit and do my own thing with it.
Yeah, that was
Cool.
fun.
Yeah, this was great.
This was
Glad
so
to
much
hear
fun.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, does anybody want to plug anything before we head out? Do we want to, Jack or Heather, do you want to talk about TEP and the fundraiser at all?
Sure. I'll just say, thank you to everybody who has shown up to stream with us. Thank you to all the people who have given over the last couple of weeks. Thank you. Just thank you to the whole community. All of the initiatives that have happened over the last month or so have been so appreciated, not even just for the financial part of it, but for the joy that it has brought for us and for others in this community who have been able to catch some of the live events. And I mean, that's really what it's about, which, I mean, Rick, you hear me talk enough at this point that you've heard the spiel, but for me and for this organization, is very much about how do we bring more restorative joy to this community? Mm-hmm. How do we create more areas of opportunity where we get to thrive? Because that's when we do move into the future. And that's the work that we're doing. We're not trying to stay stuck in this problematic past by, going and I say it all the time, fighting with Chad and Karen at Chick-fil-A. That's not the MO. The MO for us is, building that world together where we do have the opportunity to thrive and have fun and actually get the rest that we deserve. And so, yeah, I am just really excited. I think this avenue, especially in gaming, is such a great place for our community and for everybody to really build those community connections where people can try on all different types of characters and identities and that's one of the things that I personally love about gaming itself is like you're not stuck. You can literally try on any character anytime, you know, any size, shape, color, whatever it is. You get the freedom to really explore yourself in these characters. So I think all of this stuff is has been a lot of fun. It's super amazing to see all of the streamers that have shown up and shown out for us, and I'm just really excited to see what we're going to continue to grow together. So thank you so much for hosting this event, and you know, for the game itself. This is my first time getting a chance to really like dive in and explore the character stuff. But Rick, you did so good with all of our characters, so I love that too.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to playing more games with everybody here in the future. So yeah, let's have more fun, and definitely a lot more of the werewolf and vampires and all the other stuff, and a lot less of the bigotry.
Also, there's a whole ass Doctor Who TTRPG that I ran, that I just finished editing the VOD for, that we did forever ago, that we just haven't put out. And yeah, I definitely would love to have y'all on to play that and to be the Doctor, because we can do like a 5 Doctors thing.
You don't even know what
You just spoke Jack's language, like.
That's
You
okay,
really
because
have
Heather,
no
you and I
idea.
nerded out about Star Wars for quite a while.
Yeah,
And I've got
I'm
that
a little
too.
obsessed.
I've got that too.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Lissa, do you want to plug your stuff before we head out?
No, I think everybody should follow and support the Trans Empowerment Project.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Support the Trans Empowerment Project, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.